Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I want to talk about the building tensions between the United States and Iran, but specifically how it relates to my job, which would be cyber attacks, cybersecurity, cyber warfare, all these kinds of things. Now, basically, these tensions have been building and are actually starting to reach what a lot of people are calling historic heights in recent months. And we have a lot of lawmakers here in Washington, D.C. that are basically fearful of what is yet to come. So let me give you a quick summary and a quick backdrop of what is going on between the United States and Iran if you were not aware of this. And again, this is not a political post by any means. I don't care if you love or hate the president, love or hate Iran, whatever your political beliefs are. These are the facts on the ground as we know them, and these are the potential ramifications. And so with that, I want to get started because basically this entire escalation actually started in May of 2018 when President Trump withdrew the United States from a 2015 nuclear deal that was agreed upon by President Obama in Iran. So that actually kicked off a chain of events that I'm not going to go through, but it leads us to late December 2019 to today. Now, a rocket attack on December 27th killed a U.S. contractor and injured 4 U.S. military members at a base in Kirkuk, which is basically the northeastern part of Iraq. The United States blamed the deadly attack on Kataib Hezbollah, which is an Iranian-backed militia, and the U.S. retaliated with airstrikes that they believe had killed dozens of the militia's fighters. Now, subsequently, the U.S. embassy in Baghdad was subject to violent protests, prompting the U.S. to send in about 100 Marines to secure the embassy. Now, lots of rhetoric goes back and forth between December 25th and January 2nd, but on the evening of January 2nd, the Pentagon said that the U.S. military, acting on orders of President Trump, killed the top Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, who led the Revolutionary Guard's Quds Force, which is one of their main military wings. Soleimani is now the highest profile official on either U.S. soil or Iranian soil to be killed in these tensions. In the last 24 hours, thousands in Tehran, the capital of Iran, have been basically protesting, holding up signs, all of this, vowing revenge for General Soleimani. And so that is the backdrop of this, and I think we need to get into the analysis of this because there's actually a lot going on that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. Now, Iran does not have the vast military infrastructure that the United States does, just given the United States' investment in the military infrastructure and across multiple decades. But what Iran does have, and they do fantastically well, is that they have a very aggressive and capable cyber warfare outfit, probably one of the most capable on the planet. And so I'm going to read you a couple of quotes here from a couple of different sources as I was pulling all of this information together that I think gives you kind of the tone of where Washington D.C. is looking and bracing for. So according to Axios, and I quote, a source in close contact with the Trump administration senior national security officials tells Axios that one scenario they are especially concerned about and have been prepared for is Iran launching cyber attacks. According to the Washington Post, and I quote, "At this point, a cyber attack should be expected," said John Bateman, a former Defense Intelligence Agency analyst on Iran's cyber capabilities, and now a cybersecurity fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Now, if you are asking, okay, how are they going to launch an attack? What could they possibly do? I want to run you through a couple of the different scenarios that we in the United States may be seeing as a result of Iranian cyber attacks, if, and I would assume when they launch these things, given what just happened in the last few days. The Iranians have the ability to knock out critical infrastructure with denial of service attacks in the United States. They actually successfully did this to United States banks between 2011 and 2013, so they have a history of this. They can also break into organizations or government entities and basically wipe out data, not just encrypt it for ransomware, but literally just erase it off the face of the earth. And they did that in 2014 to the Las Vegas Sands Casino, who was owned by Sheldon Adelson, who is staunchly pro-Israel and claimed that Iran should be nuked. So they weren't a fan of that. So they have that ability and capability and have shown it before. They could also hijack crucial machinery over the internet, as everything is now through industrial IoT and regular IoT connected. This is a tactic they used on a New York State dam whose control systems they penetrated in 2013. They could also target sensitive political or diplomatic targets while mounting sophisticated information operations over things like Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. This past October, Microsoft actually accused a group tied to the country's government, basically Iran, by in attempting to identify, attack, and breach personal email accounts associated with the U.S. presidential campaigns, government officials, and journalists as well. And I think one of the most damning things that we can do is basically to panic society. And so imagine them striking fear into U.S. citizens by hitting infrastructure in geographical regions that are outside of major cities. So forget Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, all of that. What if they start hitting the suburbs? What if they start hitting areas that geographically are not necessarily there? They could potentially cause a panic nationwide. Many of those geographies do not spend the time and investment in securing government infrastructure in the same way the federal government does. And by virtue of that, if they are able to knock out infrastructure across the United States, government infrastructure across the United States, that may be a panic. We have seen a slew of state and local governments getting hit. Georgia got hit hard. Texas got hit hard. Even in my own state here in Illinois, we've seen a lot of governments come under cyber attack. So this is a very real possibility that we have in this situation, and I think it's something that we really can't discount. And so these are the ways that they're going to hit us. And again, this is not a political thing. This is literally the facts on the ground and the backdrop of where we're at. So I don't care if you love or hate either side of this. This is what we are potentially bracing for, and this is something that we have to look at. U.S. corporations, especially those that have critical interest in the U.S. government in terms of infrastructure, contractors, all that kind of stuff, they need to be on high alert right now, as does all local, state, and federal government agencies and divisions and departments and all of that. Everybody has to be on alert, because while the Iranians can't necessarily invade the continental United States, they can absolutely knock out infrastructure and cause a whole bunch of chaos. And so I'm curious to see where that's going to go. I'm also curious to see where as I research this, and I'll probably do another video on it, what the U.S. cyber capability would be in hitting Iran back. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. This is what we are bracing for right now. And if you are watching this video, just please make sure, if you are working in a critical sector in the United States, that you are on high alert for any emails, any oddball things going on with your computer infrastructure. Please make sure that you are on alert. And so that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.